Maniacs. This is Dan Green. We're here at the Omaha, Nebraska UFS PTC at Legendary Wolf Games. And we're going to actually, boom, get the logo in there. Legendary Wolf has put on an incredible event this weekend, and one of the things they're doing is a 1K event on this Sunday. It's an UFS Eternal format event, and it's one of, you said it's the second Eternal format event?
Eternal format.
So this is a fresh format with some wild decks going on, and Tyler Pease over here is the guy who just absolutely murdered me with this Gemini Man deck. So we had to get you guys a deck profile, show you what's going on. Tyler, why don't you show us the deck?
All right. Do we want to pan down?
Yep, go for it.
So basically, the idea of the deck is this is Gemini Man. He is a 7-hander with 19 vitality. He has a static that says after you block with a card named Gemini Man, you get to add it to your staging area, which attaches to your character, and then you get to draw one card. And then he has this magnificent E that says your attack gets +1 speed, period. Your attack gets +1 speed and +1 damage for each character card in your staging area. So basically the idea is that we're playing 3 extra of him in the deck to build this to 4. Now, since this is Eternal and he got a semi-reprint in Platinum, we are also running 4 Gemini Man 2. He has the same static ability and then all the same symbols. He has a 4 cost instead of the 3. But he has E, your attack that shares 2 symbols gets multiple 1. You can only use character cards to pay for the multiple ability. So you can use it out of your staging area, and this creates some like 2 attack hand strings turn into like 5, and then they get arbitrary amounts of stats because of the first one. So what made me want to build this deck is with the Yu Yu Hakusho set, Suzaku's support came out, and this attack, Prism Storm of Torment, it has some great stuff on it, Deadlock Stun 7, Gauge 7, a whole lot of keywords and everything. It has this neat static that if it's the 7th card you play, you don't even have to make a check to pass it, and it gets auto 7 speed. We're not too worried about that, but we are worried about this E. You get to take every character out of your discard pile and attach it to your character. So this, as I did against Dan at one point, with only 2 characters, this puts in 2 more characters, which then gives this +3/+2, which turns it into a 10 high for 9, which is just dumb stats, absolutely dumb stats. We play 4 regular Storm of Torment. This has Gauge 4, Desperation 4, so if you're half dead, it gets a little bit easier to play. It has Discard 1 Momentum. You get to search your deck for a character card that could be added to your staging area, and do it to either your staging area or... And then... We must have a PTC champion on our hands. If you have at least 2 characters, 1 in your discard and the 1 in play, or 2 attached, you get to clear this when it is done playing. This is a little bit of a control piece. This is Lightning Shot. It has a response card pool where anytime your opponent tries adding or readying stuff in their staging area, you can just flip 1. And then it gets stun X equal to the amount of characters in your staging area with a maximum of 3, because or else it would be done.
Thank goodness it has a maximum of 3.
Right. And then Lightning Torture. This card is a throw. This card says if you can see 2 characters within the discard or in play, it gets 3 damage. So with Gemini Man, it gets really huge and does really large amounts of damage.
And it's a throw.
Yeah, and it's a throw, so it's almost guaranteed damage. And then the last attack is Iron Knuckle. This one's kind of self-explanatory for anybody who has played, but if you haven't, anything you try to block with is sealed automatically as soon as the block passes, so no breaker and no abilities like that. And then it gets +1 damage and +1 speed for every character in play on your side. So
these attacks are just all massive.
Yes.
In this deck.
Yeah, they all do a lot. Let's Cut Loose. It is arguably the best card in Standard, which through how makes it kind of the best card in Extended. It can pick you up a foundation out of your discard pile, or it can clear one out of your card pool and build it, and then it replaces itself in your hand. And it's a 6 check. So the only downside is that it has no block, I guess, if that's a downside. Leader of the Saintly Beast. This has a form, Destroy. You get to reveal the top 5 cards of your deck, grab 1 gauge attack, or grab a character card. So since with Prism Storm we want to kind of dump all the characters that we can into the discard pile, what we're going to do is we're going to basically dig for a gauge attack to extend our offense, and then just dump all the characters, and we'll get them back with all the gauge on all of our attacks. These two I can talk about simultaneously. Immortality and its eternal counterpart, Ophidiophobia. Immortality is a card that says if you flip, if you block with a character, it deals no damage. And Ophidiophobia is if you block this attack, period, it deals no damage. So these are 4 Omni blocks, essentially.
Sure.
And these turn your characters into +0, doesn't do any damage to me whatsoever. 3 Dust in the Wind. This has an R commit. After your opponent plays an ability that grants them speed, it gets -X speed, where X is the amount that they just gained times 2.
Wow. You never got to use that against me, but that would have shut down my offense pretty quickly too.
Yep, and that's what a lot of the foundations do in here is a lot of defense. So Champion of Muay Thai. This is a card out of King of Fighters 13. It has an R commit. After a mid attack is played, you can make it a high, so that kind of helps with your block zones and ratios. But what we really want is this E Destroy. The speed of this attack becomes 1. So it just reduces the speed down to 1, which makes blocking exponentially more easy. On the speed hate train, we also have a Girl Like Any Other. This was at a Red Horizon. This is an E commit. This attack gets -3 speed to a minimum of 0. That's literally all it does, and that's really all it really needs to do.
Wow. Yep.
Built for Speed. This is my favorite spam that has been printed ever, because it's R Destroy. You get to take your committed foundations and turn them into speed, which is really good. And then it's also a 1/6 with a +3 high block. So it also really helps with checks. Bearer of the Mackay Whistle. Like I said, we really want to get the characters into your discard pile, so this kind of helps with that. And it gives -2 to your gauge rating, which will make building them even easier as well. And then E Remove, you can take a card out of your opponent's remove from game pile and put it back on top of their deck. This is really good in certain matchups when your opponent does some arbitrary remove like Jet or Ken, because then you can look at the 2 checks in their deck, and if you know that they have way too much stuff built, you can just kind of put that on there. I thought about doing that instead of the gauge in our matchup, and I figured the gauge was maybe just a little bit more beneficial to closing out. And Hell's Reach, this one's kind of simple. It's a 0/5, and when it's committed, you flip it and ready it. That's all it does.
There you go.
So you just want to build a big foundation base to play huge attack strings, attach as many characters as possible, and just create these really big, dumb situations for your opponent.
So what are you concerned about playing this deck?
Another Gemini Man.
Sure.
Anything that does free vitality loss, because I am a 19 health character, so it's very small. And then basically anything that can draw more cards than me. Because I can play a really good defense, but only as long as I have cards in my hand. So discard and drawing more cards really kind of shapes that out a little bit.
Cool. And did you have any matchups you were hoping to see today, where you just you got an auto win?
Auto win, no. I don't. Okay. I don't think that there's really anything in this game that's an absolute auto.
I think that's very true. Even in our games, I did have a chance at getting you there if I could have gotten things to go a little better. And my deck isn't even Eternal legal.
Yeah.
So it's just a standard deck. But.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, that is awesome, Tyler. Thanks so much for showing us the deck, and I want to give you a chance here. You were telling me you were part of Rockford CCG?
Rockford CCG on YouTube.com. Also follow us on Facebook.com. Yeah, we put out UniVersus content along with some games that we like to play locally, like Dragon Ball Z and Versus System.
So you guys are a lot like the Metamaniacs too.
Absolutely.
So the two of us need to talk a little more and work together on some things,
For sure.
because I think we have some very shared interests here. So definitely Maniacs, go hit up Rockford CCG, check out what they got. Thanks so much for tuning in this video, and make sure if you do like this stuff, go ahead and subscribe, check out the website, check us out on Facebook, and we will catch you guys in the next one.